It's an impressive cage. Not built, I think, for me.
Built for something a lot stronger than you.
Oh, I've heard.
You have a line in the beginning, which you will know better and say
Yeah.
it, but it's announcing who you are. You're Loki from...
I am Loki of Asgard, and I am burdened with glorious purpose.
Oh, see, I love that.
What he's doing is so interesting too, is he's inverting something that is very basic about human nature, which is that it is reassuring when we are well led. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, if you're like Winston Churchill was a great leader, and the British people and the allies of Europe loved following him. They also loved following Hitler before it turned bad, because he was very charismatic. And Loki's come down saying, I understand this about human instincts. You actually love following more than you love leading. I'm going to lead and you're going to follow. It's the unspoken truth of humanity that you crave subjugation. Except that he's terrifying and made of hate. So he's playing on something which is true and making it something incredibly sort of wrong and tragic.
Just remember till you're home again, you belong to me.
You were just really mean to Rachel Weisz in The Deep Blue Sea.
Yeah.
Just sort of a drunken...
Yeah, that was interesting.
Mean to her?
Yeah, that was exploring a shallowness that I hadn't understood before. And he's a kind of cad. That was really fun, because that was about exploring damage and repression. Is that my understanding of his cruelty, or what could be conceived of his cruelty to Rachel's character, comes from an inability to process the death that he's seen as a pilot. So, and I did some research into, if you're a bomber pilot, like in the Second World War, you would be up in the air every day, and let's say maybe 6 in every 10 of you would not come back. So it was a lottery. You'd get up in the morning and nobody would mention it, but you'd know that 60% of the team going up into the sky you wouldn't be having a pint with by that night. So he's somebody who's seen so much random, inexplicable death. And here he's with a woman who tries to kill herself because he forgot the exact date of her birthday. And he's so appalled that she could value her life as so little because of the death that he's seen. That's the way I approached it anyway.
Well, when you're doing this, when you're approaching a role and learning this about the character, do you live it? Are you
No.
You're not doing a Daniel Day-Lewis 24/7?
No, I can't do that.
7,
He's one of my favorite actors of all time, and he's part of the reason that I do this job. But I could never do it the way he does it. It wouldn't help me, in fact. Because I think any actor, the way they prepare, the way they work, is all about releasing them from feeling self-conscious. It's essentially, you're exploring a life that isn't yours, and it's very easy to feel like a tit. To feel like, what am I, I'm pretending. It's make-believe. I'm dressed up in a costume, and everybody else in the room is dressed in shorts and T-shirts, and because they're crew members and they have a skill set that's applicable, and here I am just doing a circus dance in front of the camera. And I guess method actors, by staying in character, it helps them believe in what they're doing. But for me, I need the distance. I need to say, that's this guy, and then this is me. So, for example, in the Avengers, if I'd been in character for 5 months, I probably wouldn't be sitting in front of you today.
When did you decide that this was going to be it, and that eventually you'd be Loki?
I don't know if it was like a specific.
It could have been.
Decision.
Were you reading those Marvel comics?
I knew Spider-Man, and I had some trading cards.
Spider-Man is not in the Avengers. I want to make that clear to all the people.
He is not in the Avengers. Spoiler alert. No Spider-Man. He's got his own movie later this year. Yeah, I had trading cards as a kid with all the superheroes and supervillains on them. But as a kid, I was slightly the cliche of. I used to love doing impressions. I still do. Of everything, of commercials on TV, of the news, people reading the news, the weather girl, I would just do voices, cartoon voices. It was something I loved. I'd do Yoda from Star Wars and C-3PO, and I'm not going to do it for you now.
You want Yoda?
No, I can't.
How could you Yoda?
Yeah.
You're a fearless actor.
Lucky, mean he is. Badass he is also. God of mischief he is. Awesome he is not.
I think it's going to be the perfect thing. All you need is George Lucas.
Yeah, that's all I need.
To get together.
Just to make it another 3.
And Avengers 2 could have Yoda in it. Can you imagine the money that would be made?
Can you imagine Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man versus Yoda?
I'm seeing things now that I can't. While I have you in that mood, and while we end every show and every guest has to do this.
Okay.
It always ends, because maybe it's because I'm at Rolling Stone. It always ends with music and song.
Fantastic.
I ask everyone for a snippet of a song that means something to them. Or it doesn't mean anything. It could mean absolutely nothing. You have to sing it? Yeah. It's not just Yoda that you get away with doing.
Okay. They sat together in the park as the evening sky grew dark. She looked at him and he felt a spark tingle to his bones. 'Twas then he felt alone. It hit him like a freight train moving with a simple twist of fate. Wow. That's a little bit of Bob Dylan for you.
Yogi does Bob Dylan.
There you go. I needed my guitar.
Only on this show.
Yeah.
It was an imaginary guitar. I believed it.
That's
I believed
the second
you
verse.
had it.
There you go. What's the first verse? I'm trying to remember the first verse.
You'll remember it. You just come back.
Yeah.
You know,
But
I'll still be sitting
It
here.
hit him like a freight train moving with a simple twist of fate.
Now
There
it
you
was
go.
there.
Yeah.
Tom, terrific you are.
Thank you
yes.
so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Pete.